Manus, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I mean, I suppose you are dealing with mining clients as well, and when you look at the summit, some of their concerns, of course, would revolve around the security and supply of power, and then, of course, there's also the security of assets. Did they get relief, you think, from what the President said today?
Yes, I think the fact that the President attended Mining Indaba, that he spoke there, was quite a positive sign. I think he's sent a message of prioritizing the mining industry. He's also somebody who knows the industry, and his whole approach was business friendly. But he was also very realistic about the problems. He, amongst others, said that the mining industry and the government should not meet in the courtroom. They should meet in the boardrooms. He talked about labor and communities. He emphasized the importance of a positive relationship. And then on the land reform, he did indicate that we must redress the wrongs of the past. He called it the sins of apartheid, and that land reform must happen. But he has given a positive message that it must happen within the rule of law, and that land grabs would not be allowed. So I would have personally expected him to say a little bit more and give us a little bit more confidence from that perspective, because it is a concern, the whole expropriation without compensation issue.
Having said that, Manus, if you compare the issue of policy certainty or uncertainty compared to last year, are we in better shape?
Yeah, I think he touched on policy certainty. He also went further than what the minister, when he opened Indaba yesterday morning, he just said that they have given us policy certainty and regulatory certainty, referring to the mining charter. The President has also went a step further and talked about policy and regulatory framework that will remain constant, not exactly constant, but relatively stable over time. And that is, of course, one of the main concerns for investors, because uncertainty is killing investment. So regulatory certainty is a very important aspect for investment.
Also on that list, I would imagine, is just the security of power supply, of electricity. You need electricity to run mines. And we could very well hear more about this in the State of the Nation address, when we might hear that Eskom will be splitting up into generation, transmission and distribution entities. No doubt the miners, some of your clients, will be giving a thumbs up to that scenario.
Yes. Look, earlier this morning, the Chief Executive Officer of Anglo American, Mr. Mark Kutifani, indicated that the electricity uncertainty is the biggest risk for mining. And President Ramaphosa has gone to great lengths to emphasize the importance of electricity supply, without which the economy cannot exist and let alone grow. So he did indicate that they will very soon make announcements on how to address the problems that Eskom is experiencing, both financial problems, and he also referred specifically to structural problems. We expect I personally expect that he may give us more detail in the State of the Nation address, which will be done on Thursday.
Manus, just before I let you go, is it possible that we could really create more jobs going forward in the mining sector? I mean, we have seen the job creation in the sector shrink from 2012, about 50,000. Going forward, if we get the right things in place, can this be a huge labor absorber?
Yes. One of the positive aspects of President Ramaphosa's speech this afternoon was the fact that he is very positive about a good relationship between labour, communities and the mining industry and the government. And he emphasised that we must all work harder to foster that relationship. Now, the only way that we could create jobs and in the mining industry and in the economy in general is to create economic growth. And for that, you need investment. So one of the issues that has been in the press recently is the whole question of corruption and the absence of clean government and clean administration. So it was a bit disappointing that President Ramaphosa didn't refer to corruption in his speech. There was a question at the end where he indicated that certainly the commissions of inquiry dealing with that issue will do their work, they will make their findings, they will make their recommendations, and those recommendations will be implemented. And he especially said that people might go to jail. So I think that's also a very positive step. But the essence is we must create investment, and government must create an environment conducive to investment, and then economic growth will take place also in the mining industry, and then we will create more jobs. The employment opportunities has shrunk over the last period of time.
But thanks indeed. Thanks indeed. Joining us from Cape Town there, we have Manus Boyson, partner in the corporate practice at Weber Wensel.